Hello, Roger Bisbee here from the Skill Builder channel, and this little video from the BBC archive popped up in my feed, I guess because I'm interested in all things building and DIY. Back in the 60s, Barry Bucknell was the man. If you did any kind of DIY around your home, people would say, who do you think you are, Barry Bucknell? This man was a legend in his time, so let's have a look at him and see what he's got to say. He's wearing a tie in tribute to Barry, you know, let's do it. You didn't get on the BBC unless you were properly dressed in those days. They didn't let slovenly oiks in t-shirts on there. They certainly wouldn't have let me on there, if for no other reason than they wouldn't have liked my accent. You had to be slightly middle upper class and talk very, very well.
This is a method that's quite often used in new buildings because it avoids plastering. It also gives you some thermal insulation with the airspace that you get behind, because these don't go right up against the wall. To do this, I want probably three lengths, 1, 2, 3, of 3 foot wide boards, which are easier to handle. And you've got to get those lined up. The wall is rough and it's bulging all over the place. You've got something to line up to here, that's the door frame.
That's interesting that they had 8x3 sheets back in the day.
So starting with the door frame, I want a guide over here. And I've already fixed these little blocks. Find a straight piece of board for a straight edge, and just check across to the door frame to make sure that if you were at level, you're not going to have a bulge in the wall pushing one of these panels away. So check up there, check on the one down below.
That looks good, Barry. What about one in the middle?
Check to make sure that your wall is vertical with a spirit.
Look at his spirit level. Look, come on. BBC, they surely could afford a 4 foot level, or even a 6 foot one.
Fixed and set to give you a guide. And it's very easy to cut this material, of course, so you can cut a little piece of the material just by scoring it with a knife.
Yeah, you don't need to score it both sides, Barry. Just score and snap.
With this special plaster, I'll show you this.
Yeah, he doesn't say what this special plaster is, by the way, does he? Just special plaster. They could never ever show a trade name on the BBC. That'd be advertising.
Stick, but you mix that up till it's nice and gooey. Creamy, I think you'd say, is the consistency.
Yeah, lovely.
And then with...
Back in the day, that's how all plaster was mixed up. We didn't have whisks then.
Some of that on your block.
Yeah.
And then just press it onto the wall. I don't want this one because two are enough.
Put it in the middle. Go on, Barry. Do it. Do it.
The wall and leave it to set pretty well before you start work. And I'm going to put 3 lines of plaster down the wall and also on the board. So let's deal with the plaster lines.
So it looks like he's wetted the wall up. He's going to miss that little bit, but he's splashed a bit of water on there. Along the lines of, this is one I did earlier.
At least on the wall first, 3 lines down the wall. If it's a very dry wall as this is, you need to damp the wall first.
Oh, there you go.
But,
sorry, Barry.
On a new wall you wouldn't. This will get a grip straight away.
Lovely job. Well done, he's out of breath now, isn't he?
Lovely,
He's done enough now.
But
look.
Something rather nice about this part of it, I think it's rather
this trowel. There's no such thing as a bucket trowel in those days. That was it, just one trowel. That was a BBC standard issue trowel.
Along the board. First of all, fill up this little, let me show you that. It's just a triangular trough with a little space at this end here for the plaster to run out of.
Lovely
Fill
idea.
that up.
What a great idea. Except, of course, you wouldn't put the muck on the board, you'd put it on the wall. But other than that, you know, good effort.
And then run it along, just lifting it up at the back, all the way along about 2 inches away, bumping it as you go.
Lovely. Look at that. Like I say, we could do that with mortar on a brick wall, couldn't you? Quite a good idea. Loves it, doesn't he? Look. The great thing about this is it's all done in one take, isn't it? They don't mess around. Oh well, there's a close up there, but you know they didn't have time. It's probably shot on film as well. The whole thing had to be lit. Big shadows. We wouldn't have those. Wouldn't have those on Skill Builder. Try and get the lights a bit better. Love his old pipe, by the way, in the background there. Bit of old lead. So what this is, it's a bit like a downstairs, because it looks like there's a window there, doesn't it, going outside. So maybe he's living in the upstairs bit and doing all this work in the downstairs bit.
By with that.
I've done that a few times. One more go, Barry. See, you think, okay, the concept of speeding up the footage slightly or just mixing through.
Same.
Because do you really need to see this done 3 times? Yeah, I think we do. I think there's something slightly ASMR about that.
It's a fairly simple way of getting your
yeah.
strips of plaster on.
Beautiful.
And now
we'll forget about the horizontal bits, the bottom and the top, and maybe some
because this
bumps in the middle.
Again, is one of those jobs.
Now this is 3/8 board, so fair play to him, because I wouldn't attempt this. Once you've loaded it up with all that muck, the chances of it snapping.
Run that down and onto the.
He knows, you know. Oh, there you go.
Because there's quite a weight on it now, the plaster.
Yeah.
Up against.
He didn't get 2 chances at that, did he?
Standing it.
Look at that.
On some blocks. And here is. This is a thing that the plasterboard professionals use. It's something you could make, really. This is made of metal, but you could make it of wood. Little strap over here for your foot. A piece underneath on which it rocks, so that it rocks like that.
You could just get a garden spade to do it, actually.
You just put it underneath this board, like there.
That's it. Good, look at that.
Squeeze it up with your foot until you close the joint. Now, having squeezed it up, perhaps better do that with the left foot. Squeeze it up and close the joint.
I don't know where he's left-footed.
And put some wedges under here.
Yeah, you need a little bit more muck at the top there, Barry, but we won't worry about that. Keep the camera low, that's what I do when we're making Skill Builder videos. I say to Dylan, don't show that bit, Dylan, for goodness sake.
Now, this is beginning to stick to the wall, but of course, it's not lined up. And to line it up, you want a fairly heavy board. This time, you're only lining up to this board because you already have got this one straight with your blocks. So you line up from the block to this board, make sure the edge is joining up just by pressing it in.
You need a step ladder or a pair of stilts.
Now when you've got that edge level, you get this vertical. Just make sure that
he's pushed it in too much. You should have put the board flat ways on. Just give it a little tap.
Not bowing there. It's coming out a little bit.
Wouldn't have gone past it then.
Bit of a bang.
Never mind, you'll be able to pull it out. It won't matter anyway because it's all coming down after he's filmed it.
That I think I'll have to just get up to the top of that and pull it back a bit. But you see the plan that you can adjust this by squeezing up the plaster. And when you get used to that, I think this is a fairly quick method. I wouldn't say any of this is easy, but it's a method that you can master fairly quickly. The joints, well, these joints are beveled on this particular board down there, so that if you're just going to wallpaper or finish it in that way, you can fill those afterwards just with plaster, a filling knife. Not till it's set, after it's set. Just plaster those joints up and you've got a perfect wall. No plastering.
What about scrim? Any scrim going in those joints, Barry?
Well, that's one way of dry lining
all over the place.
There is another way. Instead of sticking these to the wall, you put them, first of all, fix wooden battens, get your battens lined up, and then you nail these boards to the battens. And I just want to show you that on the wall on the other side here, the outside wall, where I fixed 2 battens.
So that's why they call them tackers,
The idea
because
is
back
to,
in the day you
nail the
didn't
battens
screw
to the wall,
plasterboard up,
and
it was
then
all
nail the
tacked.
plasterboard to the battens.
And all the nails
Nail
popped.
the battens to the highest spots on the wall. You can do that with masonry pins. Oh, incidentally, we're getting on with this window frame here. This is
lovely,
the kitchen window, of course,
Nice
coming
view.
in here. So making a bit of progress with. So, battens at 18-inch centres if you're using half-inch board, narrower ones with the lighter 3/8 board.
Don't use 3/8 board on the wall, for goodness sake. Moves all over the place. Happy days.
And you may have to wedge that out wherever you nail it, where it's standing away from the wall. Put in a wedge and then nail through the wedge.
His wedge is a bit of old plasterboard, a bit he cut earlier. Doesn't
can line
look
these up,
entirely
make sure
straight,
that
does it?
they're
But there you go.
Straight, not no
yeah.
gaps, and that they're all in line. Because with this method, you line up your battens instead of having those little blocks to help you. Oh, not sure whether I said that when I fixed the last panel on the other wall, I should have knocked off the blocks because the first 2 panels would serve for the lining up. Well, here you line up your battens. And this method can be useful on an outside wall if you want to insulate it. Because you've got this space in between. Incidentally, if it's an outside wall and it's a tendency to be damp, then these should be impregnated battens so that there's no danger of rot.
No danger.
Insulation
What,
can
they're gonna
use
impregnate?
sheets of expanded polystyrene in between these
Fits.
boards, which you
Do
can
you
just
reckon you
hold
did that
with
earlier?
sticky tape until you put your plasterboard on.
I feel for him because,
This will give
if you make videos,
the equivalent.
if you make any kind of practical instruction video, that's what goes on all the time.
More brickwork.
Fortunately,
Just,
it's easier to edit now.
Fixing those panels in between
Got a
there
feeling I didn't bother editing anything out of this.
by the plasterboard. Or you can use plasterboard with aluminium foil already on it, another method of getting added insulation. It depends how much insulation you want and how much you're prepared to spend, which of the methods you use. But if you've got a cold outside wall, you can improve it quite a lot by adding some insulation.
Who knew? I thought insulation was invented in 1992.
These are
I
masonry
like his
pins,
ball
of course,
peen
going
hammer, by the
straight
way, no
into the
claw
brickwork.
hammer, just that's
And
it.
when
Just
you've got those well fixed
again,
everywhere,
one trowel,
then
one
the,
hammer, one tiny spirit level. They didn't sort of go over the top on the budget with this one, did they? And I got a feeling he wouldn't have been paid very much either. BBC tended the honour of appearing on television. He wasn't even going to get any sponsorship deals out of it from anybody because they didn't allow that sort of thing.
in the usual way. You can fill these joints, use the tapered edge board, fill the joints as I suggested before, or, but of course you've got the nail holes to fill as well. Anyway, there's 2 methods of tackling this problem which could be useful even if you've got only a small area to deal with. Partitioning, of course, come back to later on. A lot of that
I wonder
to do,
how old
but
he is there.
that's all for now. So, goodbye now.
That's lovely, isn't it? Isn't that great? I mean, let's forget all the rubbish they're putting out on television now. Let's just rerun all this old footage because it is infinitely interesting just to see how people used to live. Barry Bucknell, he'd probably get an audience of 12 million viewers. Traitors, for example. Traitors just about got that many. Barry Bucknell could get that no problem. Standing on his head. Good on you, Barry.